Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football post-game show. The Carolina Panthers beat the Houston Texans 24-9 tonight at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. And boy, Sam Darnold had a big night in this game, and I'm going to recap it for you right now. I'm going to break down the game. First quarter, the Sam Darnold rushed right tackle to Houston end zone for a 5-yard touchdown. Gonzalez's extra point is good, and it was 7-0 Carolina. Then Carolina had to punt after 3 plays, 7 yards, and Houston went 3 and out and had to punt, and that's when they scored the touchdown after the 2 punt times, and then they had to punt again. Houston had to punt after 5 plays and 17 yards, and then Carolina had a turnover on downs near the end of the first quarter, and it was a 4th and 1. It was no gain. That's when the turnover on downs happened, and then there were 2 times where Houston had to punt, and 2 times where Carolina had to punt. And then Houston, we'll go back up now. Just hold on a minute. And then Davis Mills, short middle complete to Carolina end zone catch made by, I think it was Adam Miller at Carolina end zone. A gain of it was a 1-yard touchdown, and Sly's extra point was no good, and it was 7-6 at halftime. In the third quarter, the Carolina Panthers, Terrell Trimble rushed left, Terrell Trimble rushed left to Houston, or Tom Trimble, I think it was Tom or Terrell. Terrell Trimble rushed left to Houston end zone for 7 yards, for a 7-yard touchdown, excuse me. Gonzalez's extra point is good, and it was 14-6 at the end of the third quarter. Houston had to punt in the third quarter after 10 plays, then Carolina scored that touchdown. Then they had to punt again, and then at the end of the third quarter, Houston tried to score a touchdown but didn't, and then it was Gonzalez kicked it was a field goal, and it was good. I think it was and it was good. And it was a 21-yard field goal attempt, and it was good. It was 17-6 at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. And then Houston tried to score a touchdown. They couldn't. And it was Sly's 53-yard field goal attempt was good, and it was 17-9. And then Sam Darnold rushed to the Houston end zone again for a 1-yard touchdown. Gonzalez's extra point is good. It was 24-9. Then Houston had a turnover on downs, and it was at the 50, at the Carolina 50, and it was for 8 yards. But then it was a turnover on downs. He was tackled by Jackson at the Carolina 42. So it was 2-0. It was a turnover on downs, and Carolina just had a few plays, and then they just and then actually it was 1st and 10, and it was a tackle at the 48-yard line. It was Chris Hubbard, and then Chris Hubbard rushed right, and then it was tackled. It was Houston 46, and it was a 6-yard gain, and then Sam Darnold, and then all the Panthers had to do was just kneel 3 times, and They run out the clock, and needless to say, nonetheless, the Carolina Panthers win the game by the final score. They beat the Houston Texans by the final 24-9. The Texans, they had 3 field goals in this game, but they just could not stop Carolina's offense or their defense. This was Sam Darnold's first game with 2 rushing touchdowns, and Darnold's first 3-0 starts in his career, 3 straight wins, second time in his career, and 3 straight games with 275-plus pass yards for the first time in his career. Christian McCaffrey left the game in the second quarter with a hamstring injury, and it's going to be questionable day to day if he will, of how many weeks he will miss, and Moore got injured as well in this game. I think it was there was another player that got injured on the Panthers as well, and Panthers 3-0 for the first time since 2015, and the Panthers 4.0 sacks and 9 QB hits, 193 total yards allowed in this game tonight. Time now to give out the game balls for this game. Sam Darnold. 23 of 34, 304. 23 of 34 carries and attempts. 304 yards. On the passing end, no yards, no touchdown, no interceptions. And on the rushing side for Sam Darnold, 8 attempts, 11 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And DJ Moore had a big night tonight. 8 receptions, 126 yards, and no touchdowns. So they get the game balls. And, but again, the Carolina Panthers beat the Houston Texans 24-9 tonight at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. Let's move on to the rest of week 3. I'm going to let you know. And first of all, let me tell you, we'll kick off for next Thursday. It will be the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Now we'll go to the Sunday games. The Washington football team will travel to Buffalo to face the Buffalo Bills. The Chicago Bears will come here to Cleveland, the first NRG Stadium, to take on the Browns. The Baltimore Ravens will travel to Ford Field in Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. The Arizona Cardinals will travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. The LA Chargers will travel to Arrowhead Stadium in KC to take on the AFC champion Chiefs. The New Orleans Saints will travel to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. The Cincinnati Bengals will travel to Pittsburgh to Heinz Field to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Atlanta Falcons will travel to MetLife Stadium in New York to take on the New York Giants. The Indianapolis Colts will travel to Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans. The New York Jets will travel to Denver to Mile High. The EverPower Stadium Field in Mile High to take on the New York Jets. I'm taking the Denver Broncos. The New York Jets will take on the Denver Broncos in Mile High, Empire Field at Mile High. The Miami Dolphins will travel to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Rams will square off at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Those teams are 2-0 undefeated, so it would be a battle of the unbeatens, and that should be a dynamo game. The Seattle Seahawks will travel to Minneapolis to US Bank Stadium to take on the Minnesota Vikings. And Sunday Night Football on NBC, the Green Bay Packers will travel to Levi Stadium and out in the Bay Area to take on the San Francisco 49ers. That's an 8:20 start on NBC. And Monday Night Football to wrap up Week 3. Philadelphia Eagles will travel to AT&T Stadium in Big D to take on the Dallas Cowboys. That's your NFL action for this week. Coming up on Sunday and on Monday. And I took Carolina, and so did my brother-in-law. We are both 1-0 for our picks right now. And that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football post-game show. I'll be back on Sunday with Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday. Early games and pre-game show. And after the Browns early games are concluded, the early games post-game show, late games pre-game show, and then after that the late games post-game show, Sunday Night Football pre-game show and post-game show after that one, and then also Monday Night Football pre-game show, and after that game, the Monday Night Football post-game show. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.